Hello, this will be a video announcement for week 8. As always, if you can, before you jump into our task, go up to our module week 8 and print out or save the online weekly checklist. You're going to notice when you look at our checklist this week, you have one major assignment, and that is to write your career narrative essay. Now, before you jump into this assignment, I encourage you to look at the modules that I suggest, and you're going to notice the most important one is underneath that module 1, the career narrative essay overview. Now, this is just not a handout with notes, okay, on the assignment. I think you'll find this very valuable in actually writing the career narrative. Okay, now I really hope that the career narrative essay is going to be a really good conclusion to kind of some, obviously educational and professional decisions that you've made. The example essay as well as the comparison and contrast essay, I'm sure you did some research, okay, into future educational and professional decisions that you have, and I really hope that some of those decisions have been made and you can kind of discuss those in your career narrative, okay? If you already have a plan, this will probably be a very, simple assignment. If you don't have a plan as far as for your education or professional future, I hope this is kind of a challenging assignment because you need to start facing these challenging decisions. Now, I want you to understand kind of the reasoning why you're writing this particular essay, because you likely will come into a scenario where you're asked to write a career narrative, okay? Just for example, okay, educationally, you may have a scholarship opportunity that arises, but the scholarship committee may request a career narrative, and I want you to have this career narrative sort of as a reference of how you could write one. Also, you may be applying to universities in the future. Some of those universities do request career narratives so they can see that, you're worth it, okay? Also, in some scenarios, especially bigger corporations and companies, you may have, a scenario where you're applying for a job and you're asked for a career narrative, okay? They sometimes want to see if you're going to be a good fit for their company, okay? In many cases, potential employers will see you as a gamble, okay? A new hire. So they want to kind of see your background. So please understand this assignment, the career narrative, it is very meaningful and you may be asked to write a career narrative in the future. Now, you're going to notice, this is again, not just notes on the assignment. I do have questions that you need to answer, okay? Now, if you know your future, career choice and maybe even your educational choices to get to that point, these will probably be easy questions. If you're still undecided, they may be challenging to you. I would encourage you to watch the lectures that I have within the assignment Dropbox just to kind of remind you where those are. If you go to, of course, Module 1 and click on letter C, okay, when you click on that, there are 2 lecture videos. I do mention, a route that you could take if you're undecided in what you want to do for your career, okay? So you may want to view that. But again, back to the handout. Now, when you answer these questions, you can use some of these answers as some of your ideas for your essay, okay? One thing that I do want you to notice is I have several different examples of different parts of essays that are career narratives, okay? You're going to notice this first section right here that I'm showing you. This is under step 2. These are example introduction paragraphs for career narratives. You're going to notice some individuals are very confident in their future career paths. Others are maybe a little more doubtful, okay, which is fine, okay? And let's continue. I have a section if you want to actually write your introduction paragraph and thesis, you can. But again, reference those that are above this to use them as a guide of how you could structure your introduction, okay? Also, I really want to see personal examples and details. Keep in mind, you may be in a stack of thousands of other applicants for a scholarship, for a university, for a job. You need to make yourself kind of stand out and wow the committee, okay? Or, whether it's a committee for a scholarship, a committee for a university, or a committee for for a job, okay? You need to ensure that you have personalized information, examples and details that really show who you are as an individual and also how you got to this maybe educational and career path. Now, please look at these examples right here of this particular student's personal details and examples. So you kind of use them as a guide. But again, I want it to be you. Okay, I want to see who you are, so that you can also later show future, application, committees who you are. Okay, on continuing, you're going to notice I do have a structure, okay, kind of scenario of how you could set up your body paragraphs, okay, and you're going to see that this particular student, these structures, like these points she's going to discuss, those are taken from these answers, okay. These answers right here are answers that she used for those questions on this page, okay, the step 1. So you can take those answers and you can develop those into sentences, and later those can be used to be developed into whole paragraphs that you can focus in on those points. So use this as a guide in structuring your own essay, okay? And I have an example conclusion for you as well, okay? Use these as a guide. Now you have 2 student examples. You're going to notice at the end of this particular packet, there's a student example. Now I did not teach this student. This was one that I found online that I thought was very good, but I also want you to see that you have my student's example. If you click on this, you're going to notice this is my student's career narrative, okay? Please use those examples as a guide. Don't feel like you have to follow their structure exactly. I want this to be personalized to your actual career path, okay? And it may be some that is very personal, because some of you have really personal connections for your motivations for going into a particular career path. You're going to notice that in some of those examples, people talk about going into medicine because they have a very tragic personal connection to maybe a disease that has encouraged them to want to go into this field. And I want you to be, again, as personal as you're comfortable in being, okay? But also make sure that you're formal, okay? Because again, this is a formal essay. I really look forward, again, to getting to know you even more through your career narrative. I've thoroughly enjoyed reading your example and comparison and contrast essays, okay? As always, if you have questions about the career narrative, please email me or call me, and I'll be happy to answer those. Thank you.